Check, check, 1 2 1 2. For
Yeah,
the
yeah.
people that's tuned in, you gonna watch this on the playback. You rocking with your host, Son of a Jones. One half of this platform, Enveonline. Today I got a special guest. Now y'all know I curate hip hop. I talk a lot of hip hop, but today I got a business owner, a mogul in the making. To the left of me, the owner of Rapdillz, Dillion. Man, what's going on?
Yo, what's going on, Dave? Yo, thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
nah, man. Thank you for cutting out time, man.
Of course, of course.
I thought this was important because even though I do a lot of hip hop on this podcast,
Mm-hmm.
but we're in the media side,
Facts.
so it's a lot going in on the media side, and you've been getting busy in the city for a while. So I
Thank
had to talk to the man behind the brand,
you.
behind Rapdillz. So for the people that's gonna tune in and watch this on the playback, can you briefly describe your brand as much as possible, Rapdillz, and what it consists of, and we'll get into more.
Okay, so Rapdillz. Basically, my name is Dills. So there's a lot of meanings behind Rapdillz, but it's basically like my expertise and my forte is rap, hip hop. I went to the school of hip hop. So Rapdillz, we're going on 9 years. We just passed 9 years on April 1st, and going into 10 years. And it's basically Rapdillz has been a a bunch of iterations. We started as a blog, then we started transitioning into a network like.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had a brick and mortar store, and then now then we went to a streaming service, and now it's grown into a thing that's kind of been solidified in hip hop for interviews, for content, for recaps, and that's Rap Deals.
He's downplaying it, man. Y'all didn't catch what he said. Streaming service. Now, there's a lot of blogs out here, a lot of YouTube channels, but I don't know nobody in the city or in New York City, period, that has their own streaming app, man. Can you talk what was the thought process behind transitioning from just keeping it on YouTube or your .com to
Yep.
saying, yo, let me get into the streaming side of things?
Okay, so that really came about because because that's when I started looking at Rap Deals as a network, a media network. And I started producing shows for other people and collaborating with people and making shows and I always thought about like the mindset of like ownership and taking control of media, and I know the importance of media, black media too. So that thought really came from like, how could I really take it there? Now, when I did it, I will say when I did it, it was a little early and it was hard to get people to understand when I say I have my own streaming service and stuff
Yeah.
like that. They would be like, oh, so like a website and stuff, and I'd be like, no, like Netflix, like Hulu. So that's what really came to thought. Just the thought of ownership and a lot of the content that we make is sometimes demonetized and not monetizable for some reason, and it's not even really like detrimental content. It could be a smoking in an interview. It could be whatever it is. But I wanted to just have full control. And when I launched it, my saying was, "The revolution will be streamed," and that was homage to Gil Scott Heron's "The revolution will not be televised."
Yeah.
But now that we own the media, and now that we own and control the media, the revolution will be streamed. That was really my meaning behind that.
Definitely. And it's one thing before I get into these other questions,
Yeah.
I'm glad you said something. Like when people jump in this media space, I see who's gonna fizzle out.
Mm.
And the people that usually fizzle out is they get in front of these cameras or they start their YouTube channels and they only care about the monetization part.
Right.
Now we are in this to make money, to do business, to get
Right.
sponsorships and
Right.
so forth and so forth. But you got to be into it more than just money. That's one thing I want to commend you on because I've been sitting back watching for a while ever since my pop said, yo, it's this cat around me
Well,
that work, he, his family, X, Y, and Z. And yo, like that's one thing I got to give you your flowers for.
Mm.
It was a vision. It was more than just, yo, let me start this to try to make a bag. It was like, yo, let me contribute to the culture of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I like to see in this media space.
Man.
Now, I'm going to jump to my research.
Okay.
So I'm a little bit older than you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm close to 40. Doing my research from your last name, Latimer,
Yes.
you come from like a strong family within Albany, a very creative family.
Yes.
Like seeing some of your cousins and family members, I'm like, oh, yo, the whole family is talented.
Thank you.
So I got a two-part question.
Okay.
So how was it growing up within that family of talent that you come from?
Mm-hmm.
For the people that don't know, if you're from Albany, you already know who this is and who his family is. But outside of Albany, how was it growing up within that bunch of talent?
Damn, you ill with this, but yeah. So it started like I always tell people my after school program and my like daycare was a recording studio.
That's
Like
dope.
the recording studio saved me and my cousins and my family's life, the youth in my family because so the shit was dope and so I come from the lineage of PPM. PPM,
Save that. That
yes,
was the
yes,
second part of
yes,
the
yes,
question.
yes. PPM is
Powerful.
yeah. So my uncle Powerful, he's a pioneer of Albany, and I'm not just saying that because he's my uncle. He was really one of the first ones to to make a label, a brand, and really like go crazy with it in the late '90s, early 2000s.
That brother put a lot
Yeah,
of kids on,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, so having that to look at all my life, my uncle Majestic, my older brothers and cousins that did this rap thing at a high level, it's like that was my cheat code. That was my unfair advantage, like having them. So when it comes to this hip hop thing, when I say like I went to elementary school, middle school, high school, and college for hip hop and music, like I really did.
Grew up in it.
I watched the mistakes. I watched the things they did right. I soaked it all up. You know, like all of us do. Before I picked up the camera, I was rapping because I wanted to be like my older brothers and stuff like
So
that.
you good. I knew I was trash. Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. I couldn't spit a half a bar. I said, yo, let me pick up this camera. Oh, I can shoot a video? But go ahead, man.
So it's like, man, that I give all my flowers and everything to the people, the mentors and the big homies that I had because that was everything for me. I had guidance, having a studio, I had a safe space. Man, like I give all respect and credit to my family and the people that you know that was before me. And so yeah, big impact, big impact. I just gotta say, and it's still happening now. They're still mentoring me through this process now, and now I'm at the point where I'm able to show them things as well when it comes to my uncles and all that. So they love that. They love that they always got they nephew right there to keep them in touch with what's going on and all of that. So yeah, thank you for mentioning that. PPM family. I come from that lineage. So yeah,
We gonna touch on that because that was the second part of the follow up.
Okay.
I was just gonna make sure. I was about to say your family's the ones that started PPM because I remember in middle school and high school, like there's a bunch of people in Albany. If you from the town, y'all was running around with them PPM shirts.
facts.
And
Black Fast, every school.
It sent the 518 off something crazy because there was no Facebook at the time. At least when I was watching it, there was there was no MySpace unless you was on Black Planet, which people wasn't like that. It was off the internet, so we was looking like, yo, what's this? Then he was like, oh, there's something after school for you to go to. So I just want you to touch real quick. You already did, but
Let's go.
can you touch about the impact that PPM had on Albany?
The impact was crazy, and like what my uncle did was not only was he a respected person in the streets, my uncle Powerful, but he understood marketing. Really, like I tell him all the time, you're an entrepreneur, businessman, but you're a great marketer. The way, because he's a personality himself. So the thing I learned is that like you gotta flood this shit. And that was one of his main thing when it came to the PPM shirts and the albums and stuff like that. He put no expense on getting it out there. He would go and print up 1,000 shirts at a time and just give them away. And he understood that like everybody that wore a shirt, that was a walking billboard.
It was.
And the brand meant something. Powerful Productions and Management, it actually meant something to the city. So everybody was wearing it. And it was the first kind of like local person to kind of have like that type of fame. Like, you feel me? When the members of PPM and my uncle would pull up, it was people in the city really felt like they made it. They was the first local acts on the radio and stuff like that and being spun and so like his mind back then and still to this day it was just so ahead of his time. He knew I'm not gonna beg people to get behind what I'm doing. I'm gonna stand on this shit. I'm gonna flood this shit, and that's what he did. So like that's like how I go about a lot of things. Still to this day, if I'm doing something digitally, I still make sure I got something physical to flood the city with. If it's posters, if it's stickers, if it's merch, like, and I understand there's an investment. There's a return on investment in giving stuff away for free. Because if I give you a shirt and you wear it, now you're a walking billboard for my brand. So facts.
Big salute to Powerful, man. I don't know you personally, but being from the city and watching what you did for Albany, the term hood celebrity, man, you made a lot of hood celebrities from the 518, man. You made a lot of kids have vision, especially your family members, but people in the community in general. So you get your flowers, but I'm gonna give you your flowers live on Enveonline. Big salute to you and everything you and your family did.
Yo, thank
Something
you for that,
big,
bro.
man.
That's some of the realest shit, because people don't do that. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, it's people that could have seen it for step, word for word, and they will not do what you just did. But just one last thing on the on the PPM thing and what he showed me. I truly believe that seeing is believing. So when you see certain things and you're exposed to certain things, you understand, like, oh, this is possible, that's possible. My whole life, my uncle brought us on a road with him. If it was when he managed Mr. Cheeks, if it was when we was doing just tours and shows like that, and I got to see the inside of the industry very early. So that's why it was never, to me, like, these people never seemed out of touch, because I understood that these people were just people.
Yeah.
You don't have to be intimidated by their fame or celebrity. And I also knew how to move in these rooms and stuff like that, and how to be a likable, tasteful person when you're in these rooms, you know, because that has a lot to do with it as well. And you know, like, I have, it's a good and a bad thing, because, like, I only know one way of doing this industry thing. Like, I don't even go out to clubs and stuff no more unless, like, and this is gonna, in the most humble way, like, since I was 16, going to do these promotions and shows with my uncle, we just walking right in the club. So, like, going to a club to party and waiting in line isn't even normal to me. But then I'm not saying that in a bougie way. It's just I know, like, you know. So, I've also built my brand up and my likeness and my name up to where I don't even have to be with my uncle. And wherever if I do decide to go somewhere, they gonna know, they gonna treat me with the respect and the way I carry myself. They gonna handle me like that. So, yeah, man, he showed me this shit early. They showed him and Majestic and my older brothers and cousins. I was exposed to a lot of things. So mentorship, man. Shout out to my mentors. Shout out to my big homies, man. They're the reason why who I am today.
So I want to jump down back to Rapdillz, because as I said, and as you reiterated, like, there was a lot of pivots from when you started 9 years ago to now. And one thing that I like now is that you're turning into a network.
Yeah.
I see a few shows I saw when you was doing the podcast, with Memphis Bleek. What's the name of that?
Do Say Friday podcast.
Do Say Friday.
Yeah.
I see now the one that's really turning up. You up to like 39 episodes.
Yep.
With marijuana.
Stage one.
And I watched the one where you guys just did 38 Special.
Yeah.
I'm skimming through the catalog.
Yeah, nice.
So I'm like, yo, this is what's up, man. Can you talk about you as the owner of Rapdillz? What made you go to Do Say Friday and put these together? Because you could have did any type of shows. Why was it those type of shows that you wanted to put under the banner?
So I'll start with the Do Say Friday. Do Say Friday. So this is what I tell everybody, man. If you really want to do something, you gotta be willing to do it for free.
Oh, I know, yeah.
So how that even came about, like, and I'm saying this to preface because this changed my life. Like, literally, this changed my life in 2016 when I'm still figuring this shit out and finding myself. Like, I always knew what I wanted to do, but I don't have a degree. Feel me? Like, I ended up going to like a trade school for film and stuff where I got a certificate, but that didn't, I'm not even gonna hold you, that didn't do nothing for me career wise. So with not having a degree, not having no background and working for no corporate company, me being able to work in the Rock Nation offices was only because how I presented myself to them, and I came with a plan and I came prepared when I presented myself to them. So this how it happened. One day, I'm watching Gary V. You know, Gary V used to be on the internet like heavy at that time doing the Daily V and stuff like that. And one day he was just like, "Yo, you want to get into this industry? You want to get into this game right now? As I'm talking to you right now, open your phone, go to the 5 people that you will work that you will be willing to work for free for no matter how long. The 5 people that you admire or businesses that you admire so much that you will work for them for free. Go on your phone and direct message them right now and tell them, yo, I see you got this going on. I like to offer my services to you for free." So that's what I did. I had 5 people. And I'm not even going to mention the other people I hit. They didn't respond. But the one person I hit, Rail Carter, my brother, Rel Carter, Jay-Z's nephew, he accepted my offer. You know, I hit him like, yo, but I also did work before that to make the act sweeter. So like a few weeks before that, Emery and Rock Nation, they had a drop for the Yankee / Rock Nation hats.
Okay.
So I went there and I filmed a recap video for, you know, just on my press and media shit. So I got the interview from Emery, Biggs, all of them. So it was like, okay, like that was big for me back then. So I sent that video and then I hit him with the, yo, I see y'all just about to start a podcast. I like to offer my services for free for however long it takes. I just want to show you that I'm of value and that I got skills with this. He was like, I bet. Come to the office on this day. So now it's lit. I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to go to Rock Nation, da-da-da. Go to Rock Nation. Meet the crew, Memphis Bleek, one of my mentors, big homies. Meet Rel, meet B. Axel Rob. And we actually filmed that day. So we filmed the podcast. And then it came down to a thing where they was like, all right, we fucking with you. You the director, producer for the Do Say Friday podcast. And that, you know, me offering my service, and I don't want to keep repeating myself, sorry if I am, but me offering my services for free put me in rooms and open doors that if I had the greatest degree there was in education history, it put me in rooms that I couldn't pay $1 million to be in. Just from knowing that, just from listening to Gary Vee, what he said, and it was like, if you really want it, do it for free. If this is what you really want, do it for free. So for me, I'm in rooms with Jay-Z. I couldn't pay $1 million to be in these rooms with Jay-Z, but because I showed my value and I added value, I had opportunities to meet people that I'm in and have connections that's still showing, like that's still given to this day. I speak to Bleek like almost every week, you feel me? And like that Rel refers me to so much work still to this day because he understands how hard and how I uphold referrals. And that's one thing I want to say. Referrals, if somebody refers you to someone, you gotta stand on that. You can't have people referring you or recommending you to people and making them look bad. So Rel,
the word is everything, man.
The word is everything. So it's like the things he connected me to, like with this podcasting thing and just little freelancing gigs and stuff, it's like crazy. Like things that fed my family for years, you know, like big things. And so I Rel my brother for life. And Bleek, he's one of the, like, out of all the industry people I met, he's the realest, bro. He's like really a mentor, big homie to me. Like he's a real one, the type that like hit you on New Year's and check up on you and make sure you good and all of that. And one thing he always told me, he was like, yo, Dills, you gotta be proactive. Remember, because I was asking about something, I'm like, yo, how I become an A&R? He's like, proactive. You gotta be proactive. That's one of the most important things. Don't wait for us to ask you to do it. So since he told me that, I always made sure I always added value to people. And like even him, he could have something going on and like he could be dropping a single and he won't even ask, and I'll just make a lyric video from him, like, yo, Bleek. And he just be like, yo, Dills, you always or you feel me? Like,
and that last joint you just put out was fire. That joint with Benny the Butcher.
Oh, the joint with Benny, yeah, bro.
And who else was in it? Petey Nah, nope. Not Petey.
It's him, Benny. It's just him and Benny, right?
I gotta look it up, but the last joint he dropped with that video, that was fire.
And stuff like that. I just make sure, like I told him, like my platform is your platform. So if anything I could do to bring attention to whatever you got going on, like I'm gonna always do that. So like Bleek is, that's forever my big homie. But my bad, I got off track. So Do Say Friday podcast was the start of my life changing with this podcasting, because before that I was a music video director. I directed over 500 music videos, and like I burnt out with that. Like I was so tired of doing music videos, bro. Like, and I was getting to an age to where like I ain't gonna keep just pulling up to every random hood shooting music videos for $300, and like it wasn't the wave no more. I clogged that and like really maximized that. So that allowed me to transition. So with this podcasting thing, we are still in the early ages with podcasting in 2016. But because of that opportunity and the pressure it took, and like that made me a beast. And since then, my thing has been podcasting. So now in 2025, podcasting is my expertise. I don't even really shoot music videos no more. Like if anybody asks me like what's your expertise, I'm good at shooting music videos. I'm good at shooting recap videos, weddings, all of that stuff, but I'm an expert in podcasting. That's what I was saying.
And it's not bad to have an expertise in that because they throwing the money around, man.
Yeah, bro. It's a crazy
These
game.
bags that these cats is getting, I would do 10 years of this just to get one of those bags, man.
For real.
It's stupid out here.
But that's what it takes. That's also what people don't understand. Like I kind of got spoiled, but not spoiled, but it showed me how this game really worked. Because the first podcast I ever worked on, we got a title deal.
Yeah.
Like, so I understood how these podcasting deals work and why they do certain things and how the numbers are supposed to look and all of that. Like, they let me in on all of that. Like, I was able to see it. So that set me up for what I'm doing right now. And we'll talk about it later with the podcast studio and all of that. But podcasting has changed my life, and I'll be remiss not to bring that back to the city and bring those opportunities back to the city where I came from and do it on a bigger scale. Now, I know I'm sorry if I'm
go ahead.
So from there, I'm like, I bet this how I'm gonna do it. This the level I'm gonna do it. So I started making shows. I made a show called Sunday Dinner, which is a freestyle series with my cousin Chaz Money. I've worked on podcasts for Samson and with Dr. Jess, the Be Well conversation series. So much shows, bro. But you know what I would say? The reason I'm at where I'm at now is because I failed so much times, and I want to make that a point.
Yeah, let me cut in real quick. Failure is a great learning tool if you know how to use it.
Yes.
I tell people all the time, before I graduated college, and people laugh sometimes, I flunked out of Schenectady Community College twice.
Yeah.
But I knew how to use that failure to come back hard. Same thing with what we doing in media. People be like, oh, I failed 3 times, and then I just pivoted. Pick that failure up and study the shit out of it, and you're going to be a beast. But go ahead, man.
Just like Ho said, a loss ain't a loss, it's a lesson. And it's not that I look at these things as failures or losses, but it took me to make, I'll say 9 shows that didn't reach the point that I want them to reach for me to get to my successful show, which is the Stage 1 podcast. And now we're like a top 3 podcast in the whole cannabis industry.
That thing is buzzing, man.
Yeah.
Listen, I know there's a lot of podcasts out there, but what Rapdillz is doing with Stage 1, he got me locked in.
And shout out to my partners. I couldn't have did it without the people I'm doing it with, Merk, Nate, and the other partners in the crew. Like, I could not have like everything lined up the way it did, but you feel me? Like the thing I learned, all of the stuff that I learned from making all of those shows. Is the reason that that mixed with the host and the brand that Stage 1 is the reason that this is happening how it's happening. You know, I've been going viral since 2016 as far as like knowing how to make things go viral. But like I had to fail. And I actually wish I would have failed faster so this could happen sooner. But to even go back to the streaming service thing, that didn't work out how I really wanted it to. But I had to go through a year of taking L. When I say L, it's just like big expenses and making shows that wasn't working to understand what I got to do now. So when I launched it, I made it just subscription based.
Okay.
Like as if I had a catalog like Netflix or in Tubi, and people was gonna be willing to pay that. I thought when I launched, I was gonna get motherfucking 1,000 subscribers at $5 a pop. It didn't work like that. I got a couple hundred. And I appreciate, I have a list of people that subscribe to the platform. And, like, feel me, I'm going to do something very special for them because they believed. And because, like, there's no reason other than just supporting me. I had 7 shows on my streaming service. Like, for you to spend that $5, you know, it actually was like a Patreon in a way, but on its own platform. And they're like, but, so I realized, like, unless I have a catalog, like Netflix, Hulu, or Tubi, I can't be expecting people to pay for another service. So what I'm in the process of doing right now is I'm actually switching it to an ad-based service because that's the only reason why Tubi is where they at now.
A lot of platforms because of the ad money.
Because of the ad money. They'll let you put whatever you want. You ever seen Tubi with the most low budget movies you ever seen? They don't care.
They shooting the movies with the iPhones with the crazy acting.
Exactly. Are people gonna watch it? And when people watch it, they gotta put them ads on it. And people don't care about ads. So So that's why I'm pivoting to with the streaming service. I'm making it completely free. You just gotta have to watch ads, and I ain't gonna go crazy. I ain't gonna go crazy where you watching 20 ads in one show, but it's gonna be some ads in that thing, and that's gonna be a way for me to just always have a platform as well as maximizing YouTube. Though, you know, I almost 10 years of running this one page. It took me a long time to get to where I'm at, but I understand it now. I understand packaging. I understand the thumbnails. I understand the titles. I understand the clips and how it converts to episodes for the full clips. But yeah, it took a lot of duds, and salute all of the people that worked with me on those shows. But it took a lot of duds to get to this point. And what we about to do next? Oh my gosh!
The best part of doing this content is you would sit up here, come up with the craziest idea, spend hours filming and editing, and throw it up on YouTube and have like 20 views. And you'd be like, what the fuck, man? I done been there too, man, but it's trial and error.
You can't let it get us discouraged, though.
Before I go to this next topic, what's your most memorable podcast show that you did, if you can remember?
2017. I think I found out the day of that we was doing this episode. Rel texted me in a Do Say Friday group chat like, yo, we doing my grandmother. I'm like, what? He like, yeah, we doing Miss Carter. I hop on the Chinese bus.
Shout out to the Chinese bus. I don't think y'all know what that did for us in Albany. Go ahead.
And shout out to my brother Milk, bro. Like, I was not up at that time. There's a clip of Bleek talking like, yo, this dude coming all the way from Albany to come film this podcast. Y'all not hustling like you hustling. But let me get back to it, like, because my brother Milk, he would give me $40 every time I had to go out to do the podcast. That's all I would have in my pocket, $40. But he'll make sure I get out there every time. So I had to go hit him up, grab some bread, da-da-da. I'm on the Chinese bus. This shit running late. It's running late. I'm like, oh my gosh. We're literally about to interview Jay-Z's mother, and I'm like, gonna be late, da-da-da-da. Like, so I get there probably like 5 minutes late. But Miss Carter, the sweetest person you will ever meet, she like shook my hand like, how you doing? Da 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 da. Very nice to meet you, young man. Like, that episode is important to me because that was like the first one. There's no other Miss Gloria Carter interviews on the internet. So the fact that it was my responsibility to capture that was just another paradigm shift of like, oh man, like I'm worthy, like I'm really doing this right now. And then it got picked up by like every platform, like Huffington Post and New York Times and all of that. So that was like one of my most memorable podcast moments. I have others, like, I don't know if we got you.
You got a few minutes.
Then one of the times we was filming, it was the anniversary of coming of age, I think it was, and we was filming. We just a random film day in the office, and like, you know, the morale a little down because it's the week after I lost my brother Milk, the first brother I ever lost, and so the morale was down. You know, it was like, and Bleek, I think he knew, like, I don't know, I think he just knew like we needed to raise the energy in the room, so he came walking down the hall with Hove. And they just chopping it up, and Hove come in like, hey, yo, what y'all doing in here? What y'all talking about on the podcast today? Da, 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 da. And then we all just looking around, and I'm like, this, that. And like, we just chopping it up. But he ends the conversation with, y'all got to turn up in here, man. Y'all got to turn up. Y'all got your topics, da, 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 da. And like, it's a small moment, but for what that did for me mentally at that time, it was like, man, like, you feel me? That shit was just dope. That shit was just dope for me, man. And those are a few of my illest moments. It's been a lot, though. It's been a lot.
Rest in peace to your brother Milk, man.
Thank you.
And condolences to your family.
Appreciate that.
Next segment, I want to title this The Art of Media, because I really believe, and I know you know this, like, it's an art being behind this.
Right.
We watch so many interviews where people think, oh, hey, I could just hop in front of the camera, pop bottles or smoke weed, and it's just going to be popping. And you got to really be into this for more than money, which we talked about before. So for you, when you lock in on a show, on a topic, a podcast, an interview, what's your process like before you hop in front of this camera?
You know, with me, I'm usually a behind the camera dude. I don't know even if y'all can tell. I might be a little nervous now. I don't know.
I saw you in the car last year doing the shows and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, there is a few shows where I hop in front of the camera. That's a fact. but I'm so used to being the one doing the interview. But before I go into interviews with research, feel me? I'm never gonna like go into something like just even though I have a extensive knowledge on hip hop and all of that, and some things like I would know that the next person wouldn't know in hip hop, but research, man. Research, and as long as I'm prepared and I did my research, I feel good about it. Like we just interviewed Jim Jones and Ghostface 2 days ago when they came up here for the 420 joint, and you feel me? Pre-production, like I always preach to the team like pre-production is what's gonna get us to the finish line. How we in that episode gonna come out how we want to. So, you know, I always have my like my segments and stuff like that, and my go-to things that I ask almost like all artists and all of that. I always like to make sure the person I'm interviewing is comfortable and it's a comfortable setting and all of that. Like if the setting not right, I won't even do it in that space and all of that, because like the person gotta be comfortable at first. Like just how you made me when y'all made me feel when I came in like super comfortable and got, you feel me? But yeah, I don't know. I'm not. It's not easy though, because I'm also the one that be working the cameras and stuff like that. And sometimes I'm working the cameras and asking the questions. Like shit be pressure, but I'm built for it, bro. Like we built for this media thing, bro. Like
Put you on the line with 1 second left. You gonna knock them both down, man.
got to, man. And I made my mistakes already.
Yeah.
One of my first big interviews that I got, Rob Markman. He dropped this album. It was like 2017. He dropped his first album, the big interview with Rob Markman. He gave me like, we was out at this pop shop event. He gave me like a 10-minute interview talking about his album. Like, I'm like, oh, I got the only Rob Markman interview. This shit about to go crazy. I go back to release it and edit it. I only got 1 minute of the clip. Like, so.
Oh, that happened to me back. Yeah. Or the sound not working.
Man.
That happened to me last year, or a couple months ago. I go to the show. I got some dope footage. I hit the play button. I'm like, why no sound coming out? Oh, I had the mic jack hooked in the wrong port.
Happened to me. Definitely happened to me before, bro. But once it happened once, it never happened again.
Yeah.
Like, you got to take them L's, but you got to fail quick. I hope my failures come quick. So what I'm doing moving forward, it ain't going to happen again. I learned from it. So that's one of the main things. I make sure everything is backed up. I always got a backup camera. Always, if I'm doing mics, I still put a lav on them, so it's backing up the audio, you know, because I had my mistakes and shit and stuff like that. So, word.
So this next topic, the responsibility of us in media. Now I got to talk about that because I said this before, especially for those of us who cover hip hop.
Right.
We've seen what's been going on out there with people getting indicted, people getting caught up literally on podcasts,
right,
from the communities that we were born in, even up here in upstate New York. Not saying anybody got caught up, but just in general, we see these Fed indictments and stuff like that. I've been doing underground media and hip hop since 2010, and I can honestly say I don't instigate any drama.
Yep.
I don't talk about people's beefs. I don't ask about your street activity. I try to keep it to the music. So for you to be behind these scenes all these years, and you don't have any issues like that neither, what do you think are, like, do you hold that very close to your heart about the responsibility that we have on the media side?
Man, great question. Yo, you ill with this, bro.
Yo,
like,
man.
but I've been knew that. But bro, it's so important. Like, the power of media, bro, and I could go so much directions with that. That's very important to me. You'll never find a Rapdillz interview where I ask the rapper about his op. I actually have an example of that. Like, I was interviewing this guy named Jaffe Top Tiger, a few years ago, and like he's known as like a big, they call him 50 Cent's muscle and stuff like that. Like, he's official though. He's an official dude. When I did the interview with him, I think he was kind of surprised because usually like all his interviews be about the bullshit. But our interview ended and it was it went viral. Like, our interview was so good and we didn't talk about nothing detrimental or nothing violent. Like, I don't even know if he ever had an interview like that. Like, we was really talking motivation. Like I go viral in the most humble way. I go viral probably every week, once a week. And the things that's going viral is usually some educational stuff on hip hop or some motivational stuff. Like, we go viral for good things. You feel me? We get them hundreds of thousands of views on for good and positive things because we inspiring and motivating. But it's important, man, because like, we ain't gotta talk on the ones that's doing it wrong. But from me and you, that's why the masses as a whole need to embrace platforms like Enveonline and need to embrace platforms like Rapdillz, because we really, people say for the culture, bro, I could only tell you the amount of things that I turned down that if I did it, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
Yeah. Like people think, oh, hey, well, if I get this interview and I talk about that, it's going to get 1 million views, but then you got that attached to your name. The internet is forever. Me, you know that. Forever. I don't want 5 years from now people, oh, remember you interviewed this person and you was talking to my aunt?
Right.
Fam, I'm getting too old right now.
Right. Man. Like, I don't want nothing to do with that energy or them spirits. But also, don't get me wrong, and I think you're like this too, like, we'll interview a drill rapper or somebody that's talking that mess, but our interview gonna be different though. We gotta talk about some shit. We gotta really talk and talk about things that person probably has never even talked about, or like, you feel me? So I'm not against it, but because, man, it's so much importance in it because black media is so important.
This is our goal. Somebody said this, and that's not for me, just in case. I don't want nobody to think I'm stealing their language. So when people brought up black media for us and our culture, this is supposed to be our currency. This is supposed to be our goal, especially when we're curating our culture.
Facts.
So why would we pervert it, and dumb it down for the trinkets? Now I want this shit to be as valuable as possible, whether it's a magazine platform, whether it's a streaming service, whether it's a YouTube channel. If you can't get knowledge from a Rapdillz interview, then you ain't studying hard enough, because he dropped plenty of jewels on there. Any show he touched. Same thing with me.
Same thing with you. Same thing with you, bro. You bodied that. And like, so it's a documentary I'm working on. 2005 is going to be the start of it. I'm speaking with a lot of dope people. Like, probably the biggest thing I've done thus far, this documentary, but it's a documentary about hip hop as a teaching tool. And I believe hip hop is the most powerful teaching tool for our culture. And the reason I say that, I'll give a little bit of the thesis. Shout out to Lupe, because he planted the seed. But we learn everything from hip hop. We learn how to, like, our culture, we learn how to talk, we learn how to dress, we learn how to dance, how to communicate. Unfortunately, we learned our morals from hip hop and stuff, like, not like, you feel me, but we learn a lot of stuff from hip hop. And that's because the reasons for that is what I'm diving into in the documentary. Like, I remember when I was young, living in Virginia for like a year or two. It's a crazy situation I'll talk about later. But I was in Virginia and I was failing so bad in spelling. And I came home like 0 on my spelling test. And my brother, I don't know where he came up with this, but he made a game where we marching around the house spelling the words like in rap form. The next day I went and took that test and I got 100 on it. And I never forgot that, because things like my brother doing that, Schoolhouse Rock, you remember Schoolhouse Rock back in the day?
I talked about Schoolhouse Rock because there's a lot of civics and politics people don't understand. But go ahead.
But they put it in music form. And that stuff stuck to me so much different. Like, people don't think about it, like, how, like, if you could learn a song top to bottom, that's something happening in your brain that's allowing you to learn that song, every word top to bottom. Now, imagine just any subject if it was in a song form, and like, somebody could read a book or study something and they can't, that information won't stick. But imagine if you put it in the song form, it'll stick just like your favorite song would. So it's like, I ain't gonna go too much deeper into it, but that's the concept of it. Hip hop being a powerful teaching tool. And that's why, feel me, media is also something that's teaching, because it's a part of hip hop and all of that. So it's important, bro. It's important.
Definitely. I got 2 more segments before we wrap this up.
Okay.
What's your most memorable song that impacted you from hip hop? And it don't have to be somebody signed. It could be somebody from the town, or it could be whoever.
The most memorable song that impacted me in hip hop. Wow. Let me think for 1 second. Damn. Wow.
Might have to come back to that.
I might have to come back. All right. Well, I'll say this. What you know about PPM? The song that started it off for me.
PPM.
Yeah. Open up the door.
That's still sticking in my head, and I'm damn near 40. I'm never gonna forget that.
That's so fire. Yeah. That was it for me. Because that's dope, what showed me this. Like, what you know about PPM? Word.
That chorus. So whoever wrote that, man, you a hood celebrity forever. I'm gonna be singing that shit at 70.
Uncle P, powerful. That's
dope. So I want to jump in before we leave off because when I have interviews, even when I'm talking about hip hop, as black men, as we get older, I love to see us age. I love to see that, we talked before the cameras came on. We're both married men, so family is important to us. So I'm gonna start up like this. So outside of you talking about your uncles and your cousins, we dive into a little bit your upbringing, growing up with the parents, instilling values and so forth. What is some of the best lessons that you got from your parents?
So many. My mother, she taught me how to love. My mother was a very loving person. Like she's one of the people, like she's the person that taught me like we wouldn't not talk to each other without ending a conversation with "I love you" and a kiss. She was very loving. So my mother taught me that. My father, he taught me hard work. Like, and he didn't just so my father's into construction and stuff like that. He used to build houses and all of that. My parents, my dad, not only did he give me like the tools of life, he actually gave me tools and taught me how to build stuff. Like,
that's big.
Yeah, and it's one of the most impactful thing when they moved to Florida. My parents moved to Florida in like 2000. My pops moved to Florida in like 2009, 2010. All he left me with was his toolbox. Like I had a crib, I was established and everything. He made sure I was good, but like as far as a physical thing, he gave me his toolbox, and I didn't know the importance of like having a toolbox at that age and as a man and all of that, but. Man, my pops is the illest. My mom is the illest. Love you, Mom. Rest in peace. She just passed away this past November. Love her. But yeah, they gave us the tools spiritually and mentally, and he gave me the tools physically as well.
Definitely.
So, respect, all of that. Respect women. Everything.
Once again, condolences to you and your family.
Yeah,
sorry to tell you. Oh,
no,
man,
thank you.
Definitely. Also, as a man who's married and now has a child, what's the best part of being a husband and being a father?
Having a person to do life with. Like, I feel like they say you can't build an empire without a strong black woman by your side, bro.
Say it again.
You cannot build an empire without a strong black woman on your side. And man, my wife is I have no shame in saying she held me down before the come up. What? But feel me, we've been together since I was 15.
Can I cut in real quick?
Yep.
If my research shows me correct, you had like a birthday present I saw you post on Facebook or somewhere where there was a Rapdillz ad placed around cross gates. Did your wife do that for you?
My wife did that for me.
Because it was like I remember, like I was certain shit I remember of your start, and I'm like, yo, he was like, yo, and I saw it because I drove past it. I was like, oh shit, he got the Rapdillz ad outside of cross gates.
You the illest, yeah, man. When I first started Rapdillz for my birthday, she surprised me. She was like, we going to the movies. I'm like, I bet. We pull up to the bus. I'm like, well, we at the bus stop. She like, look right. And it's a billboard of my brand Rapdillz.
That's the illest shit I've ever heard of.
That should say enough about like how supportive and how she, man, listen, that shit was the illest. And then like I make sure to try to do stuff like that as well for our anniversary, for Valentine's Day. I put her up a billboard in Times Square.
He's like, yeah, I got you back.
Like it, she loved it. It didn't hit how hers hit because like we only like 5-6 years in at you did that. I didn't even think that was possible, bro.
Man, I saw that. I was like, oh shit.
But my bad. Yeah. She's everything. And then my baby. What did you have? I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's where I was talking about.
Life changer, man. That was another thing, and I don't have a problem with getting vulnerable. We've been, like I said, we've been together for 20 years, so we've been working on having a kid for a long time, like, and it wasn't working. We tried everything.
God's timing.
IVF, IUI, whatever, all of the eyes shits, like we tried naturally, everything, and then by God's miracle, it just worked naturally. Like we quit, we done with the IVF stuff and all of that, and and she's okay with me sharing this because it's part of our story, but it just happened naturally. And the best thing that ever happened to us, JoJo. I named her after my younger brother that we lost, my youngest brother that we lost, Hyperboy Joe. I named her after him, but we spelled it with a Y. She, man, you know how like you think before you have kids, you think you can understand how much like they gotta change your life, or how much like I've never experienced this before. This type of love, I would literally shake the world. Like, man, the happiest I ever been on. And I had some happy times, some low times, but I had some happy times. This being a father, bro.
I ain't, man. You know, before I got like 2 more questions, but just touching on that, it's like undescribable. Like there's a song called "Unconditional Love" by Tupac, and when you listen to the lyrics, I was like, wow, this is like I could take those lyrics and put them in the form. When my wife told me she was pregnant with the first child, you know, we lost the first child, Mateo. Then Antonio, I'm like, God, like I'm sitting in there boo-hoo crying in the freaking office. I know people's looking at me like, yo, what's wrong with this big ass dude? But it's just like you can't put that shit into words, man, when you become a father. And I know that's how you felt. You know, I got something similar with my daughter. You know, my best friend passed away the day before she was born. So I named her middle name after him. But it's nothing like that, man, with fatherhood, man.
Yep. Amazing. Sorry for your loss. But I just want to say that. And yeah, bro, you hit it right on the net. How much kids you got?
Nah, my oldest daughter, Deja. Salute to you, Deja. I'm proud of everything you doing. My son, Antonio, and my little one.
Wow.
Juju. So
that's
3.
a blessing.
Yeah.
That's a blessing, bro. Word. Word.
So, 2 more. And this might be tough because this is tough for me. We're from Albany, New York, and I'm always going to shout out upstate New York because I think we got overlooked for so long, man. Yeah. But now we're breaking through with the whole upstate movement with what's going on. Even within Albany, man. If you had to pick a Mount Rushmore for Albany, who would you put on your Mount Rushmore?
As far as rappers or just people in Albany?
If you could do rappers, do rappers. If you just want to pick people from Albany, you could do that too. So I'll leave it up to you.
Holy moly. Let me just can I do people?
Yeah, you could do people. That might be easier.
Impactful people from Albany. And it's all relative. It's all like.
It's all relative.
It's all relative, you know? My personal Mount, like this is very probably, remember this is personal to me. It's just gonna be all my big homies. Like it's just gonna be so powerful. My Uncle P, my Uncle Majestic, and I'm talking about like, you know, people that did, not just because they're my uncles, people that did stuff for this industry in upstate. My Uncle Powerful, my Uncle Majestic. I don't even know this dude, but I respect what he's done for the city so much. Little from a little booking agency.
Okay.
You know, and it's 4, right?
Yeah. That's why it's so tough.
That's
I'd be like,
tough,
yo,
bro.
I wish it was
Like,
5.
I gotta make my 4th Chaz money.
I was just about to say, don't leave Cuzzo off.
Gotta make it is so much more though, bro.
Yeah.
Like, but that's my 4, and I'm making a bonus. I'm sorry, bro. Jamel Intel Mosley, another one
that
of my
man
mentors,
is so
my
lethal.
big cousin.
So creative, man.
Goat.
From the city, man. If I had to do one for hip hop, for rap, see, mine's is a little different because I'm older.
In hearing this shit.
So, and some of these cats, some of them rap and some of them don't. You know. So, I think US Bay
Fire.
for what he did and continues to do with his song making ability, unmatched.
Dope.
So I put US Bay out there. Me seeing P Now perform in person, I gotta give flowers to P Now for what he did for the city. Salute to the mayor.
Veteran.
This is tough. I like bar spitters. So a bar spitter, if I had to pick like a bar spitter, it would be He called himself G Bags back in the day.
I know what you're talking about.
So salute the G Bags,
Okay.
man. I'm not gonna say their government name, but if you know who G Bags is, you know what I'm saying.
You know.
And the last person, now he doesn't rap no more, but what we see with West Side Guns showing off the art and the artistic stuff, he's from Albany. I think he moved down south somewhere due to his career. His name is Guapo Noir, but his family, him and his brothers are from up, at least grew up here. You know what I'm saying? He'll probably claim Harlem or somewhere else, but he grew up here a long time. But if you search Guapo Noir, the project he put out back in 2017 or 16, he was on that whole artistic wave before I saw West Side Guns. The album he put out, the visuals was on World Star and everything.
Yeah.
So that's as far as hip hop.
Okay.
Now there's other people, but
That's
for
dope.
hip hop, that's why I'll put out there.
I fucks with it.
We got a few minutes left, so I got to give you the platform to talk about what's coming up for Rapdillz. Now, we talked off camera. You talked about opening up a new studio location, a brick and mortar. So I'm going to give you the platform to talk about that.
Oh, man, thanks for that. So on this week, we're opening up our, like, Upstate's first, like, multiple set, full scale podcast and content studio. It's at 217 Central Ave. It's called On the Ave Podcast and Content Studio. There's 7 interchangeable sets. So we have 7 sets. They're all interchangeable. You could change it, put your logo, add this, add that. And we have 2 full-scale recording studios. My partners in it, my Uncle Majestic and my brother, CTP. He's a producer. He has a studio as well. We just all in with it. I'm taking my last 10 years of knowledge in podcasting and bringing it to the city. Because I believe it's what I've learned from doing, that every business could use a podcast. And it's not just for having like podcast sake. Like it's been proven.
It's like your own online radio.
It's your own online radio. It's your own marketing. They made Douce Cognac. We made the Douce Friday podcast. They made the Stage 1 dispensary. We made the Stage 1 podcast. You could be a flower shop podcast. You could be a car detailer podcast. Because if you have expertise in something, you could talk about it.
Great
and you could talk
content.
about other people in that field. So that's really our goal. Like, and my cousin Chaz Money, me and him, he's actually the first rapper to ever do it. He put out an EP with a 4-episode podcast attached to it in the same listening experience. So you could go on Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, all of the streaming platforms. Listen to the first 4 songs is tracks 1 through 4 are songs. Tracks 4 through 8 is podcast episodes breaking down each song.
That's creative.
And we did it. He got the stamp as being the first one, but also artists, if you're putting out an EP, an album, imagine if you had a content piece next to it where you're talking about the songs. Because sometimes when you understand something, it makes people like it. If it's something that people don't understand, you know.
Dropping a lot of gems.
So like our target audience is the city, is local businesses, and it's artists helping to make another form of content. Like it's also a content studio as well. So we have sets for TikTok live shopping. That's a big thing. It's the new QVC right now.
Oh yeah.
To where people are selling things on their TikTok live. We have sets for that. We have monologue sets where it's just if you're one person. We're working with some of the best equipment, FX3s, FX30s for the podcast and 3-camera setups and stuff like that. And I think it's really gonna impact the city because the thing I'm saying right now, and I stamp myself as it, but I'm stamping myself as the market maker. And the reason I'm saying that is because I really have a bigger vision for this city, bro. Like, you know, Connecticut, for example, they always have had big venues that people go to and all of that. But when Bars I-95 made that platform, they made Connecticut a market. Any rapper from anywhere,
Had to stop at Bars I-95.
they'll take a trip to Connecticut now, right? To be on that platform. And that's what we're doing with Albany. We're making it a market, bro. What you're doing, you're making it a market, bro.
Yeah, man,
And
salute.
it's about us sharing and not being selfish with it. What I do on my podcast ain't the same thing that you do on your podcast. Our questions ain't gonna be the same. So when I'm bringing these artists out here, hey yo D, I got so and so out here. You want to grab this interview too? Like That's how we gotta do this shit. Because once Albany becomes a market, it affects everything. Like the dispensaries opening up out
Capital
here.
up here, man.
Yeah, bro. I'm about to put y'all on. The dispensaries opening in New York State and Albany has maximized the market by 10. You know why? Because when it started with Jadakiss, when Jadakiss came out here, he came and he got 4 to 5 bags at once. Now, if an artist could come out here and get 4 to 5 bags at once, think about the amount of artists that's gonna start coming out here. When he came out here, he got his show bag.
Mm-hmm.
He came and got a bag for a meet and greet at one of the dispensaries. He came and got a bag from the podcast to hop on the podcast. He came and got a bag to shoot a music video. He came and got it's money out here.
Mm-hmm.
So like, then I'm going to do the Rapdillz and we're turning into platforms to where it's exposure for both ends.
Yep.
So it's not even a pay to play thing. Like they like, I could hop on Rapdillz while I'm out here too. I could hop on Enveonline while I'm out here too. Like I'm going to Albany. It's so much opportunity. So people not even realizing that we making a market. The market makers, bro. That's what's happening. On the Ave podcast and recording podcast and content studio. Open now. By the time you see this, we open.
Dillion, man, I appreciate you taking time out your schedule, man, to share this time with me, man, and breaking down everything you doing. Like I say, whether it's 1 people watching this or 1,000, I appreciate the support. Make sure y'all tune into what Rapdillz is doing because, my God. And if you're from the town, you better support because he's doing it big. For everybody watching this on a playback, you tune into Enveonline.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you for filming. I ain't did a lot of these. You illest interview I ever did, hands down. I ain't gonna hold you from the few interviews I ever did. So
I appreciate that, man.
Full circle moment for us, huh?
Definitely.
Crazy.
Man. It's gonna be more of them.
It's gonna be more.
Yo, God bless on your journey.
God bless. Make sure you subscribe to Enveonline. You heard?
And subscribe to Rapdillz.
Yes, sir.
Bless.
Dope.